Peace, family. I was brutally assaulted the other day making a delivery. But let me put that in context. As I pick up and deliver loads all over this country, I had the opportunity to talk to people. They want to discuss political, social, judicial issues, and I welcome that. The other day was no different. He brings up the scenario of if a person unalive 30 people, he doesn't feel the taxpayer should have to pay for him to live out his life in prison. I said, you know what? I agree 100% with what you're saying, and I sympathize with what you're saying. I said, but you also have to be considerate of the alternative. And I could see the look on his face. He didn't know, have a clue what I was talking about. I said, first of all, if a person actions and behaviors deem them irresponsible and can no longer function normally in society and has to be removed from the public, that does not mean that they have to be stripped of their rights, freedoms, and privileges also. They should remain with him to make sure that he's punished fairly. And if we do to this person what you say we should do or what you suggest we should do, you have to be considerate the fact that you may have to accept the fact that your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister may forever be in some wooded area, up under some tool shed, up under some porch at the bottom of some lake, never having the proper burial that you would want. By allowing this man to live out his life in prison, you offer the opportunity for him to find remorse for his actions, to repent from his sins, and to maybe reveal to the families and allow them closure by letting them know where the bodies are buried at. Are you willing to do that just because you want to save on some tax dollars? So next thing I know, he's hitting me across my shoulder with the bill of lading, talking about something. Oh, you making me second guess what I was thinking. And I said, you know what? Your thoughts are like your children, and you make a home for them in your head, and you want them to be protected. But when you put these thoughts out there and see, because see, a lot of people think what they feel is correct because they are the judge, the jury, whether they're valid or not. But when you put this out there for people to critique, to offer an opposing view, that's when you really find out whether these thoughts are correct or not. I also said, you know what? This reminds me of a scenario that happened a few weeks ago when you had the governor of Virginia, I believe it was. He was responding to an incident where these some kind of gang or whatever started shooting at this mall. I believe some people were injured fatally. And the governor sat up there and said, you know, it's not the government's responsibility to raise these children. I don't care who they are. You act and behave in manners like this, you should be locked up for the rest of your life. You had thousands of people like this comment. You had thousands of people comment on this governor. You had thousands of people reposted to their page. But the fact of the matter is, and this guy agreed with the governor. But again, the fact of the matter is this: when you pay the government taxes, and in return they're supposed to do something for you. That's called a quid pro quo. The problem is we pay the government taxes and they do nothing for the people. The government's number one duty, and once they receive these taxes, is to protect and secure the quality of life for its citizens. The government does not do that. The government does not raise the children. But what it does do is supposed to provide a respectable way of life for the parents, for the taxpayers in this country. And when the government fails in their duty to do that, this inhibits the ability for the parents to raise these children properly. And then once the children are seeing their parents struggle, they don't want to participate in this system. So no, the government does not raise the children, but you do play a role to create the culture that these children are raised up under. And when they exhibit behaviors like this at this mall, the government cannot shirk its responsibility and blame somebody else. If you don't like the way these children are being raised, then stop taking their taxes, which would increase the ability for the parents to raise these children easier. It'll make their lives. When you look at what you pay in taxes, almost half of what you make is being taken in taxes. Can you imagine if you held the government accountable and said that they are negligent in their duties, and you had the ability to stop paying taxes? How much easier would it be to afford your quality of life? And see, like I say, we don't think like that. We sit up here and we struggle paying for a system that's not doing what they're supposed to do. And when these children start misbehaving and start functioning in ways that's not consistent for them to even stay in the home, and they have to leave, but the need for family is still there, these disgruntled children will go out and they will bond with other children because they need this family. And this family that they bond to in the streets is called gangs. And then they go out in society, and now they, you know what? We have to hold this government system accountable, or at least create an independent system of government that we can hold accountable. Somebody is going to protect and secure our way of life, because the bottom line is this. When was the last time you opened up your social media feed and you seen teachers with tears in their eyes looking at these former students as they achieve great things, becoming doctors, lawyers, engineers, scientists, politicians? When have you seen that? You haven't. When the last time you seen during the Olympics Black people who are adorned in the colors of the red, white, and blue, jumping, flipping, running, representing this country, and this country actually respect its Black citizens? When do you see that? You don't. The government is accountable to the people, and the people are accountable to you. When you paying the government money and you're not holding them accountable for receiving it, and you still paying for them, you still participate in this nonsense. This is ridiculous. Where's the quality of work that the government should be providing its people that gives them a sense of purpose, a sense of meaning? The guy that was attacking me at the dock was telling me that the plant that he works at in the space shuttle that went up a couple of months ago or whatever it was, they made parts for that. Every time they seen a military helicopter fly overhead, he said, we made parts for that too. I said, do you see, this is the meaningful work that the government could be providing for the people. We're not even talking money. Participating in a way of life that gives you a sense of purpose, that makes you feel good about participating. This is what should be abundant for everybody. So when this system of government sits up there and want to point the finger and blame the people for the failure of the children, you have to keep in mind that for every finger that you point at the people, there's 3 more pointing back at you. I'm in this video here, and as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.